Hi everybody, welcome back to Bring Life Indoors. It's Moira here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm talking about Golden Pothos. But before I talk about it, I firstly want to say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for liking my videos. Thank you so much for your comments. They all mean a lot. I really appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. So what am I up to today? I'm just gonna bring the camera close. I feel like it's too far from me. So yeah, what am I up to today? I thought I'll talk about Golden Pothos, one of my favorite hanging plants. How to care for it, how to keep it alive, how to make it happy and keep it thriving. There's not a lot. I'm hoping this video will be nice and short. So yeah, it's one of your easy to care for house plants. And if you're looking for something that is trailing and beautiful and easy, this is one of them. This is one of them. And I always say, after saying that, is once you know what to do and what not to do, this is your easy to care for indoor plant, which trails. One of them. There's a whole lot out there. I did a video of that a while ago. I must do another one. But yeah, so let's talk about your light. They do well basically anywhere you put them in your house. They'll be fine. They'll be fine anywhere you put them in your house. The only difference with that will be their growth and their vegetation. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Now, they do well in low light, medium light, and bright light. Now, let's talk about low light. When you put them in low light, they will do well. Believe me, they won't suffer. They will do well. The only difference is, I've got an example here with me. The only difference is they will lose their variegation if they're in low light, because they're not getting enough light. So they will do well. You'll get this green, beautiful, deep, dark green vegetation, and you will lose your variegation. That's all. That's what's gonna happen. But then the plant will grow beautifully. I mean, look at that. I love it. I don't have an issue with it. I love it. I love this deep green. I still have a little bit of variegation left. I don't know if it's going or staying, but most is gone. But I don't have an issue with it. I love it, So that's what's gonna happen. If you're gonna put it in an area where it's not getting enough light, this is what you're gonna end up with your Golden Pothos. This is what's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna show you what happens with them in different light environments, but they do fine. They do absolutely fine. But I'm just gonna show you the difference. What happens to them. Now, this is a plant that sits in a low light environment, meaning it doesn't get enough light. This is what's happening. It's growing beautifully, slowly, by the way, not fast, slowly. It's taking its time, and but it's beautiful still. And it lost its variegation. Most of it is gone, and the color of the leaves have become dark green. So yeah, that's what happens when it doesn't get enough light. Now I'm gonna show you the one that it's in a medium light. I would say it gets light, but not a whole lot. But it does get light, but not a whole lot. Not a very bright situation, but it's bright enough. So yeah, some leaves have lost their variegation completely and they've turned dark green, as you can see. And some have kept their variegation and their light green color also. And as you can see, and even this side, some they've kept their variegation and their light green color. So I've got a mixture going on. And it's growing. You can see it's trailing. It's growing well. Like I said, it's getting medium light. It's getting medium light. So it's doing very well. It's doing very well. And I'm not moving it. I've never moved it. I brought it home and I put it in that space, and I've never moved it from there. And here's one that's getting bright light. Look at this beautiful, beautiful, vibrant color. The green is that bright green, it's not dark green. And look at the variegation. Absolutely. And the pot is full. Well, I keep on propagating from this one. That's why you don't see much trails. So I keep on chopping to propagate from it. And so yeah, those are the different, that's the difference. I've shown you a plant that is sitting in a low light, and I've shown you a plant that is sitting in medium light, and this is a plant that is sitting in your bright light area. And I'll show you another one. I'll show you another bright light situation. Look at that, how beautiful is that? This one is hanging on my kitchen window. By my kitchen window is getting bright light, and look at that vegetation. You know, it's bright green with your variegation, you know, and all that. So yeah, and like I say, I tend to, I think with these I've decided I'm not gonna chop them anymore. I'm gonna let them trail. This one and yeah, these two, I've decided I'm not gonna chop them. I'm gonna let them trail. I've chopped them quite a few times, obviously, to propagate. And the rest, I think I'm gonna give them a break and let them trail. And so yeah, that's your light requirements when it comes to them. They're super easy, meaning they can grow anywhere in your house, as long as you don't give them direct sun. If you give them direct sun, the sun will scorch the leaves, so they don't like direct sun. Please don't put them, don't give them direct sun. So let's talk about water now. Water, I water my pothos when they are completely dry. I let them go bone dry. Honestly speaking, I leave them alone. Until they are really dry. And then when I water them thoroughly. And yeah, that's how I take care of my pothos. In the beginning, when I first brought one home, my first time to buy one of these, I killed it simply with overwatering. And I didn't let the soil go dry. I didn't wait for it to dry in between. I killed it with root rot. It got root rot. I was able to save a few and propagate it and all that, but I learned my lesson from then on, that they don't like to be overwatered, and I learned to leave them alone. Literally, I would leave them alone, you know, and let the soil go dry where the pot is light. Now, the joy about learning to know your plants, and I want to encourage you to really learn to know your plants. Know your plants. It's one thing to make research, it's one thing to read, it's one thing to ask questions. All that is good, and I do it. Believe me, I do it. But at the end of the day, it's important for me to learn my plants, and because my environment is different from your environment. So I can't tell you water your plants weekly, because I don't know how quick they dry out or how long they stay wet. So and I can't tell you to follow my way of watering my plants, because mine might dry out quicker than yours, or they might stay wet longer than yours. So that's why it's very important at the end of the day to learn your plants, because our home environments are different. And the joy about learning your plants is that it gives you a peace of mind. You know exactly what you are dealing with. You know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly what you shouldn't do at the end of the day. And one thing I have learned over time with my plants is I know how they look when they need to be watered, and I know how they look when they don't need to be watered. Just by looking. And I also know how the pot feels, the weight of the pot, how it, like this one, it's moist. It's not ready to be, it's not wet, it's moist. I can tell by the weight, you know. And so I know how it feels when it needs to be watered. So the pot will be lighter than what it feels right now. And when it's moist, it will feel exactly how it feels right now. And when it's heavy, it will be heavier than what it is feeling. So you get to know your plants and the pot when you pick them up to say, now it's time to water, or it's still okay or not. And if you are not sure of those, I trust my fingers very much. If I'm not sure, I stick my finger in and I let it really go in until it can't go in anymore. And if where I get to, this much, where I get to that much is moist, I don't water. But if I get to that and it's dry, I give it water. But with these plants, like I said, I let them go bone dry to the point where when I pick up the pot, it's very light. And they can also tell you they droop a little bit when they need to be watered. I can tell when they need to be watered, they become a bit droopy. So with all the plants talk. I always tell my kids, they talk, they've got their own language. So get to know your plants, get to know how they look when they're all packed up and they have drank enough and they're doing well and the soil is moist and they're happy. And get to know how they look when they're a bit sad and the soil is too dry and they're not happy, they are thirsty. And get to know when they have diseases, when they're sick. Get to know how they look, because they don't look the same also when they're sick. So get to know your plants. It will help you a lot. So that's what I do with watering. I water my plants. I let them dry in between watering. So let's talk about soil. They need well-draining soil. They need well-draining soil. So with the potting mix I use, I always add perlite. Perlite promotes good drainage. So I will advise you, if you are not sure of your potting mix, add perlite. Add a good amount of perlite. It promotes good drainage, and it also promotes a healthy root system. So that's what I add to my potting mix. And what else am I missing out? Let's talk about root rot. How do you know that you've got root rot? What to look out for? How do you know that you've got root rot? Now, what happens with these? The beauty about this, it shows you, it will tell you. Now, if you overwater your plants, your leaves will turn yellow and they will droop, or they'll just collapse. Then you know you're overwatering your plants. Like the stem or the leaves, or they will start slowly, but they will start turning yellow right at the bottom there, or even just one stem at the time. They will turn yellow and it will just collapse. Now when you see that, just know, and if you see that and the plant is moist, then you know you're overwatering your plant. And what I would advise you to do, if that's the case, take it out of its soil and inspect the roots and see if you are not dealing with root rot, because in many cases you are dealing with root rot. And if that's the case, just take away what has been affected and clean what is not affected, and then repot it, or you can place it in a glass of water and propagate it. And once you've developed roots, then you can put it in, you can transplant it to soil. So yeah, so those are the symptoms. If you see it turning yellow and then it flops or droops, then you know you're overwatering it. And again, many times the signs of underwatering is the same. The leaves will turn yellow and they'll droop. So that's why I mentioned earlier with the overwatering. If you check your soil and it's still moist, you are overwatering your plant, and the plant is drooping and turning yellow, you are overwatering it. So if you check your plant and the soil is dry, and the leaves are turning yellow and drooping, you are underwatering your plant. So yeah, that's that. And what else? I've never experienced pests with these. To be very honest, I've never experienced pests with them. But what I usually do with all my plants, I regularly give them a good rinse. I just mix dishwashing soap with warm water, and I give them a good wash with it, a good spraying with it, and then I let them sit under the shower, or I use a hose, and yeah, and that way you won't have problem with pests in your house, because you regularly wash your plants. So I regularly wash my plants, all my plants in the house, I regularly wash them. So you won't have a problem with pests if you do that regularly. So I must be honest, I've never experienced pests with these plants, or had a problem with pests with these plants. Yeah, so let's talk about propagation. Yeah, let's talk about propagation. Now, I love propagation. If you know me, you will know that Moira loves to propagate. Anything she can propagate, she'll propagate it, even just for the fun of it. That's me. So yeah, as we likewise, I have cuttings sitting in water as we speak. They are ready to be transplanted. Look at those roots. They've developed roots. They are ready to go into soil. Whenever I decide it's time to do that, I'll do that. But you can actually just stick them into soil. They'll take root. So yeah, they're very easy to propagate. I'm gonna take this one and just show you. I'm not cutting anything today. I'm just gonna show you how to do it, but I don't want to cut because I've decided to let these trail. I've been cutting them and chopping them. But anyway, if you want to propagate this beauty, you're gonna take your scissor and you literally gonna cut. Let me do this. I'm gonna put it on the table and I'm gonna move my camera. So then you literally gonna cut here, here, there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and you'll have how many? So every leaf is a cutting, right? So there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I'll probably leave these together in one. I wouldn't separate them, but if it has a note, you can, but I'll leave them in one. So then you stick that in water. That's it. You take that and then you stick it in water, and this is what you'll be having then. I'm gonna take one out. That's what you'll be having. You see, and there's the root. I'm gonna have it focus. Please focus. There's the root. It's focusing. Yeah, so yeah, that's what you're gonna have. And there we go. I'm gonna try and do that without. Look at those roots. How beautiful is that? Yeah, so that's what you're gonna have at the end of the day. All those cuttings. Then you take your nice propagation station and you put water in there, and you make sure you change your water. I try to change my water weekly. And yeah, before you know it, you've got roots, and you can stick it into soil, transplant it into soil, and you've got a beautiful, beautiful full pot of golden pothos. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you today, how to care for your golden pothos. I don't know I'm just checking my notes if I covered everything, but I think I've covered everything. I just want to show you something. Just one more point. I'm trying to get Molly. Molly, come here, girl. Come here, girl. We recently got a puppy. Oh, she's funny. We recently got a puppy. Say hello, Molly. Say hello. No, say hello to everybody. Say hi. Yeah, we recently got a puppy. Her name is Molly. Okay, sit nicely. Her name is Molly. Now, something I never had to do before. I mean, we had dogs. We used to have dogs, and we let them go a few years ago, simply because the house we previously owned, the yard was small for them, and they had grown big. I mean, big. it was sad to have to let them go. Even though one of them, we took it to my father-in-law's farm, we still see it when we go there, but still the fact that it's not with us, it was very sad. But now we have a big yard. We've got enough space for a dog to run around, and recently we decided to get a puppy, which is nice, and we are enjoying it. Now, why am I bringing her here is I never had to really worry about a plant being poisonous or this or that or the other. Though I've always been cautious because I've got kids, you know, I've always been cautious. But pets are different from kids. They're very curious. Though kids are curious too, but pets, I feel like pets are worse. So yeah. So one needs to be very obviously wise when it comes to these things. Know what is poisonous, what is not, for these lovely creatures. So I'm just gonna go through that quickly. Yeah, about this plant, they say it's poisonous but not lethal. Meaning it won't kill you. So it is poisonous, but it won't kill you. So what it will do is it will cause irritation and burning of the mouth if eaten, you know. If you eat it, you know, it will cause that irritation. It will burn your mouth. And so yeah, the best thing, you know, like everybody says, I say the same, the best thing is to keep them away from your pets, you know. But I must be honest, she's so sweet. She's been with us for what, probably 3 weeks now already, or 4. I think this is the 4th week. But she's so sweet. She doesn't bother my plants. I think she's chopped one outside. One. And ever since then, the first week she arrived here, she chopped one leaf outside. Ever since then, she hasn't done that. And in the house, yeah, I think she went for my ficus? My weeping ficus? And the soil. Yeah, she dug the soil. And she did that once, and she never did it again. So I'm busy training him and teaching him, please, this is not stuff to play with or to eat. But anyway, I've moved most of my plants, which are poisonous, just to be cautious. You know, I've moved them away. I've moved them higher. You know, and all that. So I wanted you all to meet Molly. This is Molly, the new member of the family. Molly, say hi. Stop it. She's still a baby. She's still a baby. But anyway, that's all from me today. May you enjoy your day. Have a lovely day. It's been awesome. I'm very sorry for a late video. Yeah, it's been hectic. I mean, homeschooling and all that. We're still doing the homeschooling thing. The schools are not yet open. So yeah, I'm not complaining. I must say I'm enjoying having my kids here home with me and all that. So yeah, so today was one of those days. Pretty hectic school-wise, but I'm glad I was able to do a video and post it, though it was late. But enjoy it and share your comments. Let me know what you think, and have a lovely day. Bye.